From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
Hello, my name is Gina Tomasetti.
And I am Julia Capolo. Thank you for joining us. In November of 2015, WSHU Public Radio broke ground on their brand new state-of-the-art facility. Now, they're looking forward to moving into their new building this spring. Natalie Chiafari, broadcast journalism graduate student and reporter for WSHU, got an inside look on what will be WSHU's new home.
For the past 30 years, WSH Public Radio has grown tremendously. They started out in this tiny Cape Cod-style colonial, and now they are moving into a beautiful brand new building. I'm a part of their News Fellowship program, where young journalists have the opportunity to write and report for their station. I was given the opportunity to take a private tour of our new home with our general manager, George Lombardi, and news director, Dan Katz.
So this is the main entrance. When people come in, we've got our donor wall. We have a reception desk here, and just a place to sit.
While the building is not totally finished yet, in anticipation of the move, there is excitement and pride at WSHU.
Every single journalist we have in our department really reports their heart out, and I'm very proud of them, and I'm lucky to be able to work with them, and I'm really looking forward to working with them in this new space where we can cultivate more ideas and provide an even better public service.
All non-programming staff will be at this level. So we've got cubicles.
For the longest time, the staff worked under multiple roofs, which made communication and collaboration quite difficult.
Coming into this building, we once again all come back together. We have enough space that we can have production, engineering, and development and management all occupying in the same building. We have now been about 15 years apart, and hopefully the synergy is going to increase efficiencies. And the ability to bring a donor into this facility and to show them a vision of what we can do in some of these things, I hope is going to spur fundraising to the next level. And that just means we can continue to grow and do a better service every day. So these will be the edit suites where you can go in and record voice for news tracking. The debate was whether we were going to get one more table here.
The new WSHU building offers more than what the little house ever could. It has 2 full studios, 4 editing suites, on-air equipped control room studios, a large community room, multiple offices, a conference room, and a roof deck. In a sense, this building is a reward for all the hard work, fundraising, and dedication to public service here on Public Radio.
As a little station, we've punched well above our weight for 30 years. That's the reason we're in this place now and the reason we've grown so much over the years. It's been a team effort, and there's so many people that have done so much to get here, but as someone who's really dedicated I've really dedicated myself to public radio and to this community for the last 6 years. It's amazing to see this happen and to see, how we're growing right now.
And they've got video as well as audio, as broadcast audio, as well as mixing audio for what comes out of the room. So if we had a folk music group
Even with the new facilities they're going to have very soon, George Lombardi believes this station will expand even farther than they can imagine.
It is going to grow. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to grow. The question is how fast can we grow without adding lots of staff? Because we're still, 1, constricted by space, and 2, constricted by money as to how big we can become.
And with the expansion, George says it's all thanks to their listeners. Without them, WSHU would not exist without their support.
It's just so good to know that we're making that kind of difference in their lives.
In Fairfield, Natalie Chiafari reporting for The Pulse.
It's great to see that WSHU has this whole brand new building.
Yeah, it's really great to see how much they're going to grow from this. The Miss America organization is most known for its beauty pageant, but it is also an opportunity for young women to earn scholarships and enhance their skills. Kristen Moore met with Sacred Heart University student Lauren Malella about her experience in the organization and what exactly goes into a competition.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for. Miss New Haven County 2018 is Lauren Malella!
Meet Sacred Heart University graduate student Lauren Malella. She is 23 years old and is studying applied psychology in the hopes of one day attending medical school. I sat down with the full-time student to learn more about her journey in the Miss America organization.
So I started doing pageants my junior year of high school. A family friend introduced me to the organization because I was performing professionally at the time, so I had a really good talent, and they thought it could help me pay for school, which it ultimately did. I won $69,000 in scholarship. Miss America is the largest women's scholarship provider in the country. It's a pageant, but its goal is to empower women, to give them a voice and confidence. It involves 5 phases of competition, the first being an interview with a panel of anywhere from 5 to 7 judges. And then you have swimsuit, which is lifestyle and fitness, evening gown, which is about your confidence, your style, your poise. You have talent, and then you have onstage question.
While preparing for the different competition phases is rigorous, Lauren explains exactly how contestants move up in the organization.
We started a local, which is anywhere in your community. Anyone is eligible to compete if you're within the age range, you've never been married, you've never had a child. And then you move to your state. So in June I will be competing for Miss Connecticut. And then if you win your state, you go on to Miss America.
Through her hard work and dedication, Lauren has been rewarded with multiple titles.
So my very first title was Miss Dutchess County, and I went on to win Miss New York's Outstanding Teen. And then last year I got back into pageants and I held the title of Miss Copper City, which is in upstate New York. And I'm currently the Miss New Haven County and crossing my fingers for Miss Connecticut.
While winning Miss Connecticut is Lauren's current goal, she also reflects on how the organization has personally impacted her life.
Finding a life balance is very important in any job or extracurricular activity. So pageant schedules are very demanding, but they also give you a chance to kind of look in your heart and find what's important to you. So I think volunteering is extremely important, not just for your soul, but also just for your community. And I think community involvement is a great aspect of your life, and that's why it's important to me. So my life-work balance kind of reflects that.
For the next couple of months, Lauren will be meticulously preparing for the statewide event, which will take place June 8th at the Palace Theater in Waterbury, Connecticut. Reporting from Fairfield, Connecticut, this is Kristen Moore for The Pulse.
I have a lot of experience with how much hard work and dedication goes into these competitions since I was on the dance team here at Sacred Heart University.
Yeah, and speaking of Sacred Heart University, I think it'd be great if we had a Sacred Heart University student win Miss America.
Coming up after the break, we will hear how the Sacred Heart University community has been participating in the Me Too movement.
The continuing growth of Sacred Heart University has produced an immense interest from students in the world of communications. As a result, Sacred Heart established the new School of Communication and Media Arts, simply known as SCMA. The school is located in the newly built state-of-the-art Martiri Business and Communications Center.
The School of Communication and Media Arts is professional, diverse,
inspiring,
innovative, distinctive,
unique,
high-tech,
and a family.
5, 4.
All the professors in the media department really provide students with that individual attention.
The school offers degrees on both a graduate and undergraduate level. Students have an opportunity to study public relations and corporate communications, film, television and media production, journalism, media literacy, and theater arts. The faculty includes renowned media professionals with real-world experience and academic prestige in their respective fields.
The professors here are amazing. They want you to succeed.
They're just happy to look at your work, and they're happy to know that you love doing what they love doing.
As an undergraduate here, I knew the MACOMM program and the facilities were going to jumpstart my career in a way that couldn't happen anywhere else.
I feel like I have experience in pretty much anything, especially in digital media production, so I feel really confident going into an interview and being like, yes, I've sat at that chair, and yes, I've done that job, and I know how to work a teleprompter.
The center allows students to study in an environment equipped with advanced technology. The production facilities include 2 television studios, a motion capture lab, 2 screening rooms, 6 post-production editing labs and multimedia classrooms, a radio station, media theater, and forum for events.
Classroom experience here is really hands-on. You're at the technical director's chair and getting to work with the switchboard, and you get to actually play with cameras versus just kind of study them.
SCMA is located in the middle of the vibrant creative corridor, enabling students to participate in numerous internship opportunities. Partnerships have been established with over 150 different media companies throughout the region.
Having done numerous internships in the field of broadcast news, I'm able to see that what I experienced there, we have right here.
As we move forward, the university is partnering with outside production companies to produce national and international content.
There's no difference between me and a Palestinian mother. And I don't care what people see on the television. The tears are the same color that fall on that pillow.
Our students describe their experience as
Distinctive, contemporary,
Growing,
Empowering,
and extraordinary.
Hello, and welcome back to the Pulse Plus. Every year, Sacred Heart University's Delta Tau Delta fraternity hosts a white ribbon campaign to stop violence against women. This year, the event was held in the University Commons and had an overwhelming turnout. I met with students and staff to discuss this relevant and vital cause affecting so many every day. On February 23rd, students and community members flooded the auditorium for SHU's annual White Ribbon Campaign. The campaign is a global movement of men and boys working to end male violence against women and girls. Given that the movement was formed by a group of pro-feminist men, it only made sense that the Delta Tau Delta fraternity continued the cause here at Sacred Heart. James Craven is the philanthropy chair of Delta Tau Delta and host of the event. He says the White Ribbon Campaign plays an important role in his own life and in the community as a whole.
Personally, I know a lot of people that are survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. This cause is very near and dear to me, and it was the main reason why I joined this fraternity was because I knew the work that they put into this.
The campaign provides different ways to promote the cause. Delta Tau Delta sells merchandise to help fund the campaign, and the Center for Family Justice provides information about their services to anyone who needed them. Deborah Greenwood, a SHU alumni and executive director for the Center for Family Justice, was one of the many speakers who motivated the students to reach out and help those who have been struggling.
We have moved so far since the day we graduated and turned our tassel here at Sacred Heart University. Having this commons, having an event like this, we're talking about domestic violence and sexual violence. But we can't do it without your leadership. And we can't do it without the young men and the men of all ages that are in this room. And out of our White Ribbon Campaign, the unveiling of hashtag Men Care Too. Men do care too. The men in this room and the men that couldn't be with us today are going to make that happen. And ladies, those of you too, this is how you spread the word. This is how you say hashtag Me Too as well.
Inspired by the trending hashtag MeToo came a new hashtag Men Care Too.
So the new hashtag of Men Care Too is going side by side with hashtag MeToo, which has gone viral across the world. And it's allowing women to have a voice, but we also now have a voice for our men. We've started this at the Center for Family Justice with our White Ribbon Campaign. Today we unveiled this incredible opportunity to say that men absolutely do care too, and today was a perfect example of that. With the way this event was organized for the participation of the room here, we had young women here, but 90% of the people attending were men. And that's exactly the way we're going to break the cycle of abuse.
Toward the end of the presentation, those who attended left a handprint on a banner made by Delta Tau Delta that read, "Hands that will never harm." This was created as a way for the community to take a pledge to help stop sexual assault and domestic violence.
It's important to any college student, not just Sacred Heart, I think. And the main reason why I say that is because it's a cause that affects us all, whether we know it or not. It's somebody close to us. A lot of these cases go unreported, unnoticed, and a lot of it happens on college campuses. So the more outcry, the more support, the more awareness that this campus gets, the better.
So today was not only inspirational, it's growing the numbers of students that are participatory on this, because the leadership and students are the wave of the future. You're going to make this happen.
It's amazing how much support the White Ribbon Campaign has gotten since its beginning in 2013. And it's good to know that when it comes to serious issues such as this, people are able to unite and work together to help find a solution. This was Julia Capolo for the Pulse Plus.
That must have been a really empowering experience for you.
Oh, absolutely. It was such an inspiring event.
Domestic violence and sexual harassment are two topics that have consistently been reported in the media over the past several months. It's an issue that is being taken very seriously within our nation and within our campus. Natalie Chafari met with one of Sacred Heart University's counselors to see how they can help those victims and the services they provide to make sure we are safe on campus.
Hello everyone, I'm Natalie Chiafari. Here with me today is Sacred Heart University counselor Austin Phelan. He's here to talk with us today about sexual harassment and domestic violence and how SHU can take steps in to help victims. So Austin, as a Sacred Heart counselor, how does the counseling center help victims or in cases of sexual harassment and domestic violence?
So for students who have experienced what we call, I guess, intimate partner violence, which sort of encapsulates sexual assault, sexual violence, domestic violence, like you said. Those students are free to use our counseling center if they're looking for, individual counseling services. So if somebody has experienced that on this campus, or even if they've experienced somewhere off campus or any point in their lives, it doesn't have to be that they were, a Sacred Heart student necessarily when they experienced the violence or the assault. They can use our services, and that's free. They come and talk to a counselor to sort of try to process what happened to them and work to try to move forward and find some sort of coping skills, coping mechanisms that work best for them in dealing with what they experienced. So that's sort of, I guess, the main thing that we do, that individual counseling. But we're also able to refer to other departments or even other organizations outside of the Sacred Heart campus for students that want it. One of the main things, or one of the main departments that we would refer to in this case, especially if a student is interested in reporting the assault, if it was something that happened on campus, we refer that to the Title IX office, and our Title IX coordinator is Lenora Campbell, so she would sort of take that up and sort of help them as far as what the next steps are and sort of going through the judicial process in that sense.
So it sounds like Sacred Heart definitely has a lot to offer for those who want to come forward and I guess get that help that they need. So in regards to not only Sacred Heart, but elsewhere, in light of everything that's happening right now in today's world, the Me Too campaign, you have more victims coming forward and telling their stories. Has the counseling center done anything different that they might have in the past, or maybe, gone and reached out to students to say, hey, like, it's okay to, come forward and talk to us?
I'm not sure if we've done anything different in that sense, but we definitely do our best to make sure that everybody knows, as many people as possible know, that our services are available to them if they have experienced some kind of intimate partner violence. One of the things that is important when working with survivors is that you want to make sure that you empower them to come forward if they want to, So to answer your question, as far as doing anything different is concerned, I would say no, although it's definitely on our radar that this is now sort of a nationwide and really a worldwide phenomenon that's coming out right now, and that's super important. So we're definitely prepared to work with as many people as possible who want to utilize our services where they see fit.
Absolutely. Now, as a campus altogether, what are some of the things that students and like yourself can do to kind of make us feel more safe and make us feel like that no one's alone?
I think the answer to that question there's maybe not one specific thing that people can do that we as a campus can do, especially the students. But I think one of the most important parts is to really engage in some self-reflection and sort of think about what kind of campus culture we want to foster here at Sacred Heart. And I would bet that if we were to sort of put that question out there to the students on this campus, they might think of words like, a safe culture, friendly, supportive, things like that, a very positive sort of campus culture. And it's good to say that, but, it's one of those things where that doesn't really just happen by itself. It takes a lot of work and effort to get to that place. So one of the things that we do here on this campus is what's called bystander intervention training. The Sweet Pierre educators are all trained in bystander intervention. Every freshman student gets trained in it. And in fact, this year we had the new FYE course that every freshman was required to take, and it was an 8-week course. And at one of the classes during that 8 weeks was devoted to bystander intervention training. And really what being an active bystander is all about is listening, looking, just being aware of your surroundings and being aware of what's going on around you, so that if you do see something that you perceive as wrong or unfair or even potentially dangerous, to step in either a direct or an indirect way. We would never tell any student to get involved in something if they really felt like their personal safety was at risk. So there are a bunch of different ways to sort of intervene in a situation. I said indirect and direct, right? An indirect way would be call campus safety, call your RHD, call 911 if you have to. But a direct way is sort of just like it sounds, sort of stepping into a situation if you feel safe enough and you feel confident enough to stop a situation that you feel like could potentially cause somebody else harm. So to answer your question, I think the best thing would be to, again, self-reflect, think about what kind of campus culture that you want here, and pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what's going on around you, whether you're just walking around on campus, whether you're in class, whether you're at a party, a sporting event, all of the above, and making sure that you're taking personal responsibility. And I think that's probably the most important part, is taking personal responsibility to make this campus the best place that it can possibly be, so that issues of sexual violence or intimate partner violence, relationship violence is eliminated as much as it can be.
Absolutely. Well, Austin, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us and taking the time to talk about what the Sacred Heart Counseling Center can do. Again, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your time here.
Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Back to you, Julia.
William Ron Bailey is a highly decorated police officer, lecturer, and published author. After 31 years of public service, he has retired. Bailey has faced racism, discrimination, and corruption head-on throughout his lifetime, and during his tenure at the Bridgeport Police Department. He has written a book titled No Black Heroes to share his story. Here's Christian Carter with the feature.
Injustice is defined as a violation of rights and/or the rights of another. For one former policeman, this type of injustice began in his childhood.
William Ron Bailey is a native from Bridgeport, Connecticut. He draws from his experience with discrimination to highlight what he says is the corruption that lies within his community and in the Bridgeport Police Department.
I never really had any aspiration to be a police officer. I lived in the projects in Bridgeport, and unfortunately I got beat up when I was a kid by a police officer, so I actually hated them. It wasn't until a police officer named Ted Meekins approached me and asked me to be a police officer that I kind of felt comfortable talking to them, because I really tried to stay away from him, but he was so polite, so presentable. Long story short, he convinced me that I could be a police officer and I could make a difference. And so I took the test, and I became a police officer in 1983.
Bailey has served 30 years with the Bridgeport Police Department. He's worked in several divisions, narcotics and vice, and in the Detectives Bureau. He also held a position as sergeant in the city's first community policing project. Lastly, he was a lieutenant working in the office of the chief of police. There's a consistent factor that remains present wherever Bailey has worked.
During my tenure there, I experienced a great deal of racism, hate between the races, and there was so much going on during my time there. I actually took notes and kept files and reports, and because I knew someday I was going to write a book about my experience. What's it like to be a black police officer?
His book is titled No Black Heroes. It chronicles struggles with racism, corruption, and crime.
The reason why the Bridgeport Police Department had a consent decree, the federal court was there for 30 years, they never acknowledged it. They didn't want to talk about it. The city of Bridgeport didn't want to acknowledge it. That's a problem.
Ted Meekins is a former Bridgeport police legend and founder of the Bridgeport Guardians. Meekins was a pioneer in petitioning federal courts more than 30 years ago to address racial discrimination in the police department.
We had to fight to try to be included in police work, total police work. So we became a family, and going back into the housing projects allowed us to communicate better with each other. And the police department would often call us to say, look, we got a hot spot, we need you guys to go over there and try to, somebody caused the problem, meaning a white cop caused the problem. Can you go over there and try to, smooth it over, get it fixed? I said, only if you get the white cop out of there, and you have to take action against him. So we became peacemakers, but with clout. I didn't sell myself short. If I'm gonna do this for you, what are you gonna do for our community? If we could get recognition for the work we do in a small way, then why can't we get recognition for the work we do in a larger way and get promoted?
I wasn't on the job 5 minutes before I saw that, that people got treated differently. You see things, very clearly as soon as you come on the job. And one of the things that you see very clearly is how different people are treated. Law enforcement procedures and court adjudications are different for different people.
Trying to climb in the ranks as a police officer, sergeant, lieutenant, that's a struggle. Trying to fit into the police department, try to make a difference in the community, that's a struggle. Then you have the blue wall of silence, which is a real problem. I had a police officer that slapped a kid in handcuffs. I immediately grabbed that police officer and pushed him up against the wall and said, don't you touch him again. Now I'm a rat. I'm no longer welcomed by not only white officers, but some black officers, because you can't trust Bailey.
Former Officer Bailey hopes that there is a means to end the police corruption he describes in No Black Heroes, but he knows this isn't going to be an overnight process. I asked Bailey, is there room for change?
I just got a call not more than 5 minutes before you got here, talking to a police officer who just told me she was having a racial problem with a new officer that just got on the job. We need to be able to sit down and discuss things. It may not be your fault. It may not be this person's fault, but hey, we have a problem here. Let's get some dialogue. Let's look at some of the options. Let's get a strategy and work on correcting the problem. I encourage anyone who wants to be a police officer, no matter what color, to do everything you can when you get on the job to make a difference.
This is Christian Carter for the Pulse Plus.
After the break, we will watch Gina tour a new residence hall on campus and get an inside look at one of Fairfield's newest coffee shops.
Helipad operations currently suspended. Please contact Sacred Heart University prior to attempting to land any helicopters, Harrier jets, or any vertical takeoff lift aircraft at Sacred Heart University's West Campus. Subject to terms and conditions.
Hello, and welcome back to The Pulse. 4 years ago, Sacred Heart University laid out plans to turn the Jewish Senior Service Home on main campus into a fully functional dorm. That vision became a reality when students moved into the school's latest facility, Pierre Tucson Hall. 1 month following the grand opening, I took a closer look at what the new residents think of their new home. Sacred Heart University proudly opened its newest dorm facility, Pierre Tucson Hall, after 4 years of planning and construction. The project began in April of 2014 after Sacred Heart agreed to purchase the Jewish home on Jefferson Street for $16.5 million. Construction and renovation officially started in the spring of 2016. The building was named after a slave-turned-philanthropist, Pierre Tucson, famous for his charitable work and selfless commitment to the underprivileged in the early 1800s. Students would finally get the opportunity to live in the most modern building on campus by winter of 2018. The building currently houses a mixture of under- and upperclassmen as well as transfer students into mostly doubles and a few singles throughout 4 floors. On each floor, there are notable features which include spacious kitchens and laundry rooms, common rooms ideal for socializing, as well as rooms for private study. Other exciting features include a room stylized for video gamers and the main common room on the first floor, which houses a fish tank. Along with the interior features, the building's location offers students a short walk to the Pitt Center, JP's Diner, Linda's, and the main academic hall. Here's a closer look at how students feel about living in this brand new dorm.
It's been incredible. The students really seem to love the space. They're always using everything. I love seeing them in the lounges by the fireplace, and I love seeing them in all the study rooms upstairs. It's awesome.
I love it. It's great. It's very beneficial for me because it's right near the Pitt Center. It's right near JP's Diner, and so it's right on campus. So I don't have to get a car to go to all my courses or anything like that.
Well, the fact that it's new, first of all, and I like the setup normally than the usual rooms. I like that it's 4, especially since I'm really close with everybody that lives here, so it's nice.
It's really roomy, and as well, the new amenities are really nice, and living on campus so centralized is a really nice convenience. Everything's right around you.
Well, it's close to everything. You have everything you need. It's close to the cafeterias and the library and the classes, so you can really sleep in. It's pretty cool.
It's definitely more spacious than what we had last year, at least in North and stuff, and it's a little more there's only 4 of us instead of 12, so it's nice.
Absolutely love it. Went from coming from the Marriott for all of the first semester to here, so that transition from there to here is unreal.
I like living in this building because I got to meet 3 new people, and it's brand new, it's super clean, and we have our own bathroom.
The common rooms are beautiful. There's areas to study. They gutted the whole inside of the building, and it's all new and very nice.
It's on campus and it's close to the Pitt Center. I play football, so it's right there.
It's the same reasoning. It's center, everything, food, football, weight room, it's all perfect. Classes, it's 30 seconds in every direction. It's awesome.
For many of the students who are now the new residents at Tucson Hall, it has been a long wait, but well worth it. This is Gina Tomasetti reporting for The Pulse.
I'm not gonna lie, I really wish I lived there during my undergrad.
Yeah, me too, and the students seem to really like it.
Drinking coffee is a habit that many people enjoy every day. Shearwater is the first and only coffee bar in Fairfield County that exclusively sells certified organic coffee. Finding a place that helps us to stay healthier while offering a more delicious cup of Java tempted our reporter, Fawad Amalki, to have a taste.
I got my start as a home roaster for many decades. It was a passion, it was a hobby, and there's a big cottage industry of home roasters. And a lot of them at some point make a decision to become a full-time business roaster. I decided to do that and start my own company. And it's now 4.5 years later. So we're excited that we made that transition from home roaster to full production roaster.
Have you ever seen more than 20 kinds of organic coffee in one place? Shearwater Coffee claims to be the first and only coffee bar in Fairfield County that can offer all of them.
Now that we have total control over the total process from sourcing from the farm, roasting, and then brewing at our coffee bar in Fairfield, we are creating a cup of coffee or a shot of espresso, a cold brew, a nitro coffee that meets our standards.
While there are many farmers who grows their coffee with chemicals, Shearwater chooses to offer coffee that grows organically.
Organic growing in farming. Doesn't hurt the environment, doesn't hurt the birds, the fish, doesn't get in the water supply of the farmers, so it doesn't hurt their own families. And then organic integrity needs to be maintained. It can't be exposed to chemicals that can transfer all the ways from shipping to storing to roasting. And so I'm in that chain of supplier where I take the raw, green, organically grown bean that's been processed and ready for roasting and turn it into a finished roasted product.
These batches of coffee, which travel 9,000 miles and go through several different stages before arriving in your cup. These 12 small batches take about 3 hours in the machine to roast.
They go through a drying phase, a Maillard browning phase, and then a development phase, and you have to adjust time, temperature, heat, airflow to arrive at that really, really good tasting coffee bean. That's kind of an art form and science coming together, and that's what we try to master.
Organic coffee beans are delivered freshly every day to Shearwater Coffee Bar. Most people prefer to drink their flavorful, smooth, and delicious coffee right here.
We get daily people coming in to have a cup of coffee, have an espresso, a cold brew, a nitro coffee. They buy bags of beans, take it home to brew. So from the standpoint of exposing more people to our quality as a brand, for whether they want to enjoy it by buying a cup or buying a bag of beans, I think it's been remarkable how well it's been accepted in the marketplace and so quickly.
Shearwater isn't only perfect for coffee lover, but also can be a great environment for students.
We have a very nice environment that's very conducive to studying, not overly loud, private tables, or sit at the coffee bar, the pour-over bar, and they'll see other students there. We're very conveniently located to Fairfield University and Sacred Heart. There's shuttles that take the students downtown if they don't have cars. We're even close enough to University of Bridgeport. Yeah, we offer an alternative to studying at a Starbucks. So at the same time you're studying in our environment, you're drinking coffee that's healthier and more delicious.
As a local business, Shearwater is helping Fairfield County's economy and also protecting our health and environment by providing an organic alternative to coffee beans grown with chemicals. This is Fuad Al-Malki reporting for The Balls from Fairfield, Connecticut.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely in the mood for a cup of joe now.
Yeah, we should really check that place out sometime.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Julie Capolo.
And I'm Gina Tomasetti. We will see you next time on The Pulse Plus.